Hey, everybody. Just getting everything set up. Trying to get zoomed in here. Slowly but surely, it's going to let me zoom. There we go. Okay. So I'm on the phone. Let me get over to this meeting now on my computer so I can see you guys. I'm a little bit early just so that I could try to get set up for once I'm running on time, which is amazing.
Recording in progress.
So, oh, I gotta turn my sound. There we go. Mute myself. Okay. There we go. And mute that. That way you guys don't hear me all crazy loud. No, I don't. There we go. It takes so much. It's so crazy. It takes so much to get this thing going on the computer as to where my phone is just like so easy and so quick. So let's see. Okay, so this is, I think it's, oh goodness, what's the name of this stamp? This is Avery with Cake, I think. I will get the link when I go ahead and post the video so that you guys will have it. Don't worry about markers or anything like that today. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick some colors that are a little bit darker so that you guys can see. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and use I'm gonna use these. And let's see, BG 11, 13, 15, and 18. And then I'm also gonna show you how to do like, I think I have it on the other one. I'm not sure, but we're gonna do lots of different ruffles. This isn't the only ruffles that we're gonna use. I'm gonna try and get some ruffles from different companies as well. Sorry about my nails. They aren't dirty, I swear. It's just they're miscolored and they're thin. See, I have like this. It's just, it's all just because of the stupid arthritis in my nails. So I need to put my hair up really fast. It's driving me insane. I can't do my hair down very long. So I'm just going to put that up while I'm waiting to see if anybody shows up here with me today. I'm hoping you guys will show up, but I'm going to try and we do already have the Marcy skirt that we can do, but this one's really straight. So I wanted to really just kind of get one that was straight, didn't have a whole lot of curve, because there's a lot of stamps out there that they have no curve, and then you're just left wondering what in the heck, how do I make this, you know, a lot of people won't make it curvy or anything, you know, with ruffles. Another one that we can do too, that we can practice on next week, because I don't, let me see if I have her printed out. I don't think I do, but it's that, the one that Christine just gave away for free. It was the birthday party one. And I don't have an extra one of her printed out. Looks like I did not keep it. although Meadow might have it. So if she comes down here, I'll find out if she has it, and we can practice on that too. So let's see. It's about 5 minutes after, so I'm going to go ahead and just get started here. I'm going to put these aside. So the first thing I want to show you is when it's really straight, even though it has these right here, that doesn't mean you always have to pay attention to them. So I'm going to use my BG11 to go ahead and I'm going to go from the bottom, and I'm going to try and match this up right here. Okay. Sometimes it won't have this right here. Sometimes it will, but as you notice, I'm not paying too much attention to this one here right now, just these long ones. So I'm going to go ahead and go here, and then this one here. And then I'm going to pay attention to this one right here. And these little lines right here are really super helpful when you have a skirt that doesn't have a whole lot of wave or anything like that at the bottom, where it's just kind of straight. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring these down just so I know remember which ones I partnered these up with. Just kind of go like this. Okay, we will use these ones, but not very much. Okay, these are just going to come down just slightly. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, after the BG11, now that I have everything mapped out, okay, I'm going to go ahead and use my BG13, and I'm just going to go right over the top of those map lines, just so I know where I'm at and what I'm doing. But I'm going to go ahead, this is the middle section that I'm going to leave alone, okay? But I'm just going to go ahead and kind of bring this out. I'm going to bring it out a little bit further at the bottom, and then just kind of scale it back and taper it as I go to the top. For me, it's a little bit easier to do this. I know a lot of people will go like this, but for me, it's easier to do it this way. So you do whichever way you're comfortable. So I'm going to go ahead and do it again, but I'm only going to do it on the one side. I'm not doing it on both sides. Okay, and then I'm not going to do it on this part at all. I'm actually going to flip this around, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it on the opposite side now. Okay, so just going opposite. Okay, gonna draw a little line right here so I can keep myself in the loop and figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, just gonna keep building that line, tapering it off. Okay, so now it should look like this. It might look a little streaky, but that's okay at first, because now that I have these lines done, now I can go back and feel comfortable about just making those little swoopy lines. This one didn't go quite as high, so I'm actually going to make this come out just a little bit more. Okay, you can also take this and go across the top and come down just a little bit. And here I'm just going to bring it down. I'm not going to try and get all fancy with it or anything like that. Okay, because she's going to have shadow under her hand. She's going to have shadow underneath her bow. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring that down a bit. And then this one we'll bring down, and we'll go ahead and go around her bow, but I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more on the same side as this one. And then same with this one here. I'm going to do the same thing. Let me go ahead and shut my door really fast. My kids are being super, super loud. And I don't want to hear them scream about their video games. No, much quieter now. Okay, so now that I have the 13 done, I'm going to go ahead and use the BG 15. And now I'm going to go ahead and go right over that 13, because putting the 13 down first, if you look at the caps, 13 and 15, 13 actually looks darker than the 15. And it may, so you can go like this and go like this, and they're almost absolutely the same. But they do make each other just slightly darker than the other. So I'm just going to go over the 13 with the 15, just because I want it to be a little bit darker where those ravines are at in the ruffles. I don't know what you call that. I call it a ravine just because it goes down like a valley or something like that, and the top of the ruffle is the mountain. So I'm sure I'm not using the right terminology, but that's okay. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. But you guys can call it whatever you want. You guys know I'm not an artist. Not even close. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and go back to 13 just to pull out that 15 a little bit. Here we go. It sounds like my 13 needs to be refilled. Definitely needs to be refilled because it is not being very nice. So you guys will get to see me refill this today, just because we do have a couple of new people. So it's nice. Plus, it's nice just to see how everybody does it a little different once in a while. So here we go. And as you can tell, I've had this marker probably 8 years. This is the first time refilling it, seriously. So I'm taking the package off. These refills, I like the old refills. I really wish they wouldn't have changed them. And I forgot to grab my tweezers. So my fingers are gonna be a complete mess after this. Fingers are blue. There we go. And half the time this is why. I love my tweezers, but sometimes I don't always have time. So I'm just gonna stick this in here till it pops. There we go. Take the lid off. And I'm gonna count to 50. Hopefully y'all don't get bored because I can't count and talk at the same time. Okay, so now I'm just gonna wait to see if it comes down. And it is, so I don't need any more than 50. Sometimes it'll be less than 50, A lot of the times it is, but since I've never refilled this marker before, I decided to go ahead and go with the full 50. And usually if it's really, really dry, I'm just taking a baby wipe. If it's really super, super dry, then it will take a minute to come down. So let me grab this. I've already got blue ink all over myself, but that's okay. So put that side back on and we are back in business. Now let's see. Oh, much better. Look at how nicely it blends now. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to bring this up just a little bit more. And I bet you this is a little bit, see now it's a little bit lighter. So this is, see how it's lighter here instead of darker? This is what I mean about changing your nibs so that you get the true color. So even though they look the same, I wasn't getting the true color of the BG13 because I kept just refilling the ink. Or I guess I've never refilled the ink, but this was so saturated with ink that it didn't give me the right color because it's been in there for a while. But if you change your nib, it'll give you the truer color of it. So I need to turn this upside down so I can do this right. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it down from the bottom or from the top, pull it up from the top. Okay, just kind of bringing that in. So I'm going to pull this down again and extend that. Same with this side, but they're still not going to touch. Okay, still not touching. Okay, and I'm just going to pull that out. Not all the way though, because you still want that ruffle to show. So just pulling it out part way. There we go. So now I'm going to go in with my BG11. And I'm actually going to push in instead of pull out. Because if you push in with a very, very light color like this, it will actually help, like even BG10 I do this with, it will actually help you to not overblend those dark colors by trying to pull those out, but just push that lighter color in to blend. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and color the entire skirt like this. And I'm just going to fill all this in. Here we go. I'm also going to close this gap right here. Now this part right here is a little bit wide. So I'm actually going to be pulling this part in. And it looks like my BG11 needs to be filled too. Yep, definitely the nib is white. Let me go grab that one really fast. You guys aren't here with me today, so I'm feeling kind of okay about refilling my ink while you guys aren't here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. So I'm just taking it right here. But see right here, you can see how light this is compared to how dark that is. So when I refill this with a new nib, the new nib should be this color, not that color. That's what I'm talking about with, you know, you guys getting true colors by changing your nib. You don't have that ink buildup. So so we're just gonna push this in till it pops. Maybe it's not gonna pop. Should pop. Okay, I guess it's in. I probably was talking while it popped. Okay, gonna go ahead and fill this up. Okay, now we just have to wait for it to come down. See how dry it was. Maybe it's not gonna come down. There we go. This must be really empty. Sometimes too, if you just lay it on its side, it'll come out. If it doesn't come out right away, put that there so you guys can see what's going on. Here it comes finally. It's just being really slow. Okay, so, but you can even tell, remember how dark the other one is? And now this one's really super light. So you can tell that there was just, you know, a buildup of the ink. There we go. It's filling very slowly, but it's filling. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and so you can tell how much juicier it is, how much you're not getting those streaks or anything like that. Just going to go ahead and go across that way. Whoops. Oh no, see, it's over blending because I went out instead of in. Goodness. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go in on this one as well. Now, if you ever over blend and it starts to look spotted, just like it did here, that's okay because you can always go back with your dark colors and you can do that over again. So I really wouldn't worry too much about it. Now I'm going to go ahead and go in again. Okay, go all the way up. I'm going to go ahead and go in on this side. Here we go. Okay, so right now this looks like poopy because it got over blended because I went the wrong way, but you can tell the difference by going in versus going out. But you already know, you know, I should probably refill my 15 today too. So what I can do now is I can go in with my 18. And I'm just going to go right up against, I'm just going to draw a line. I'm not going to bring it out. I'm not going to do anything. All I'm doing is drawing a line. That's it. Okay. And it's just that contrast color. And we might have to do it again. But for right now, we're just drawing a line. Now I can take my 15, and sometimes I do this in several layers, but now I can take my 15 and I can pull this out. See how it's not being over blended now because that white's not in there any longer. I'm filling in the yuckiness. Okay. So here we go, and I'm just going to pull this out. And if you feel more comfortable going like this, you can do that too. It really, so you can kind of get the same effects. It just depends on how you feel about how much control you have or that you want over your marker, okay? So I can just go like this if I want to. Okay, just like this. Trying to stay on the camera and keep my fat little hands out of your way. I'm going to go ahead and do that again on this one. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my 13. And I'm just going to start over on this. Oops. I'm going to start over on this side. I'm going to pull that out just enough more. Don't overblend, only go in halfway into the 15. There we go. Lulu, stop. And I'm going to connect this line just barely right there. Okay. Maybe I'll make it a little bit better. There we go. There we go. Lulu, stop. Sorry, my dog is just being a dog, but she's making really loud noises. Hopefully you can't hear that. Sounds like she's got, I don't know if she's eating a squeaky toy or what she's doing. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to this side, do the same thing. Oh, it's not even my dog making the, it sounded like she was going to choke on a squeaky toy. So I just went over to see what she was doing, and it's my fan making, my ceiling fan's making that noise. It's like, oh my gosh, if I don't get up and look what she's doing, she's going to choke on that toy, and then I'm going to feel bad, and oh my goodness. I'm glad she's not chewing on a squeaky toy, that it's just my fan. There we go. So for this side, I am just going to go just slightly over that line. And I'm just going to put a little bit up here because of the bow. And then I'm just going to come down just like that. And then we're going to use our, whoops, wrong side, our BG. Oh no. Look at what I did, you guys. I put it on the wrong side. Oh my goodness. No wonder it wouldn't pop in. So this is supposed to go on this side. Now it popped in. Great day. No wonder it wouldn't work. I was like, what in the heck's going on? So I have these marks on mine. It'll go away. I'm not worried about it. Okay. So here you go. No wonder it was feeling slow too. Oh my goodness. Going in on this side. Not going in too much, only going in about part way. Now this one, I'm actually going to pull that BG13 out, and I'm not going to go all the way across because I don't want to change. Remember what I said, if you go over something twice, it will change the color, which you can tell right here that it changes the color. So we can just go part way out, and we don't have to go all the way across the middle. Unless you want to, then go right ahead and go across the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and go all the way across here. But I'm only going in halfway when I get to the dark parts, okay? And Here we go. Now this part right here, I'm not liking how it looks. Maybe it's because I printed this out kind of large. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know why I don't like it, but I don't like it. So I'm going to show you guys. You can always just go down. And normally it's because maybe the skirts are a lot smaller. They're not quite this big, but I did make this image a little bit bigger so that we could have lots of room to practice. So I may need to just make this a little bit smaller, or I can just fill it in like I am. So, and then I'll go ahead and smooth it out with my BG11. Smooth that in a little bit. Okay, and here you go. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Looks much better. See, that's what I love about these markers. If you don't like the way something looks, even if it's 2 or 3 years later, you can go back and fix it and just do what you want to do. It's so wonderful. I love it. So I'm very, very happy for a friend of mine that, an old friend of mine that got me hooked on these markers. And now I'm going through the middle because I decided I wanted to go, because now I've got 3 layers of the ink on the outside and 2 through the center. So it's still going to make it look nice. And wow, that looks really terrible on the, let me see if I get it closer. It looks a little, kind of looks better. I don't know. Not sure. But this was BG 18. 18, right? Yep, 18. And we are just going to go ahead and put one last, just really sharpen up those valleys of this skirt. Okay, here we go. So there we go. And now you can put like polka dots, or you can do whatever you want to do with it. Another one I'm going to show you really fast. We're going to need is the white dresses. Gosh, I don't know if I want to do like white because it might get a little bit dark. You know what I can do though, which I know, see, where is it? I know Donna will like this. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and go with the white skirt, but I'm going to use W's instead of C's to see if, because I normally on a white skirt, I will use C's. I will use, let me see, I will use C00, C0, and C1, and maybe C2. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and try this out and see if it'll work. If not, if you guys can't see it, then I'll go ahead and do W, or yeah, W's. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up again. And the nice thing about a white skirt is you do the design you're going to do first, and then you do the white skirt. So it looks like my C1 is going to show up on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you really fast. I'm just going to go like this. This is just a yellow marker. This is just a YG13. Okay. Okay, and we'll just There we go. Okay, so that's YG13 with a chisel nib that's super dry. So now we're going to go ahead and this is C1. Okay. And this is the fun thing about just doing a white skirt. Okay. Is you do your pattern first. And even if you don't want to have a pattern, you can just do your regular whatever. But you go ahead and get your stuff in there. Okay. I'm going to go that side. Now this one, I'm actually going to go this way. And there we go. And then we'll just bring this down a little bit. Do our shading at the top here. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and use C, wrong end. We're going to go ahead and use C. This is C0. Okay, I know you guys can't see it too well. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up. This lid's in my way and you guys can't see the number on it anyways. So I'm going to bring this up. Just bring it out. But this is absolutely, I love doing a white skirt. I mean, sometimes this is just easier for me to just do a pattern on a skirt and then just make it white. Because sometimes, most of the time, you do the pattern first, and once you put the white in there or the C's in there, even the W's, it will start to look like you have put this in afterwards. It's so nice. I love it. And it just makes it look awesome. And it looks like you did so much work making sure that the pattern went in perfectly when you did nothing of the sort. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead with white skirts. It doesn't take quite as much. Go ahead and finish these lines out. Put my line on the inside here. Okay. And now I'm going to take my C00 and I'm going to pull that out even more. Okay. And I know the C00 you can't really see on the camera too very much, but you can see that it's kind of starting to take shape with the skirt. Like the skirt's finally starting to take like a little bit of a ruffle shape. And with this, I'm not going all the way to the center and I'm not finishing it off completely like I did the BG11 because we still want that white from the paper in there. This is just smoothing out the rest of the C's and helping them to take shape. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and take C2. I'm going to flip this around. Sorry if I'm making you guys seasick or anything. I'm going to flip this around and just do our lines like we did with the BG18. Okay. There we go. So it looks like I tried really hard to get those yellow lines to conform to the ruffles, but I really honestly didn't, and I love that. That's why a lot of the time, if you see me, if you've seen that I've colored something, say like the flowers or something like that onto a skirt or a dress, and then I just make the dress white, it's usually because the dress itself is frustrating me or something like that, or just because I want it to just have that extra little fancy look, like I worked on it really hard and I didn't. So that's a white skirt. I mean, it just, you can tell, I mean, you guys know that I just went straight across. That's all I did. I just went from side to side with the yellow marker. I even used just the chisel nib. And now it looks like it's totally like I actually did the swoops, you know, and stuff like that for each ruffle. And I didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go because no one is showing up. And it's almost, time is almost up. So actually, wait a minute, I take that back. I'm going to go ahead and let me see if I can crank out a black skirt for Miss Donna real fast. I know you only wanted black hair. Now I'm like, everything needs to be black, you know, but it's fun. So I'm just going to go ahead, and black can be hard because of the shadows and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with my C4. As I said, we're practicing ruffles today, right? And some colors are harder than other colors. Honestly, they really are. And I just remembered my C4 needs to be, refilled. So I'm just going to set that aside. I'm not even going to try and deal with that right now because we only have a few minutes left. And I want to do this black skirt. So I'm just going to go with C5. I think you guys can see it. Here we go. C5. I'm just going to follow these lines right like this. Okay, and I'm going to put this right here. I'm probably going to grab my C3 since my C4 kind of just, I don't know what it is. I just can't remember for some reason that it isn't working very well. Okay, so now I have my C7. Okay, so my C7 is the one that I'm just going to go straight down and come out. Okay, I'm going to draw that little line right there. And I'll get this one. I'll do the same with this one. Normally I like to start at the bottom, but I'm trying to do my best to do it this way because I know a lot of people do it this way because they're more comfortable. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my shadow, bring that down, more shadow, bring that down. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this line, and I'll draw this one, turn this one around so I can go this way. And same with this one. Just keep coming out. Remember, with this one, it's very important to leave a little bit of white because if you don't, then it just looks like it gets lost in the blackness. Okay, in the darkness of the black. I mean, it just becomes one big puddle. So now I'm just going to go ahead and pull this out with my C6. Okay, I'm actually going to pull this up a little bit because remember we have to start connecting the the lines here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this down. Go. Keep forgetting how big this dress is, so I have to connect those lines a little bit sooner than what I normally do. Okay, pull this out. Up here, pull this out a little. And just go all the way down that line. Normally I don't do that line until like almost very last, but again, the skirt is a lot bigger than normal. But it gives good practice. So just pulling this out. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and go with the 5 and pull that out just a little bit. I'm not going to, well, you know what? How dark is the 5? It's not that dark. We'll go ahead and go with the 5 and finish it off. Okay, so this one, again, I'm going in instead of coming out. I'm going to do the same with this side. And I'm just moving my pen like this. I'm just putting a little bit of a curve on it. Okay. And I'm just going straight at that line that's right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do this side. There we go. And we'll do this side. And even with just the black, just like hair, it's just all about building color. And I'm getting a little sloppy over here because I'm going out of the lines, but we're just practicing here, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, and I'm going to go over this one again, mostly just because I want to build that line a little better. There we go. Okay, now this one, I'm only going to go in part way. I'm not going to go in all the way. It's just, and I'm going to get smaller as I go up. Okay, so just part way. There we go. And then I'm going to come in part way this way. Go all the way across at the top. But this part right here, whoops, I'm going to go ahead and grab my C3 and I'm going to finish that out. That way it leaves a little bit more of a highlight. Unless you don't want that, then you don't have to do that. You can just go right across the whole thing with the 5. Okay, so I'm going to build that color back a little bit because it did overblend just slightly. And I am using the side of the pen. I'm not using like I'm doing like thick flicks. I'm not doing, for once, I'm not doing thin flicks. You guys, you should be happy. Very, very happy. Okay, here we go. And so if you actually, now if you put C3 down, it will change the color of the 5, which you can see there. So now I can take C9, whoops, C9 as my contrast color to really bring those ravines out. in that those shadows. Okay. And then one other thing you can do is I've been using a white charcoal pen quite a bit. And you can always, if you want just a little bit of a highlight in the front, just kind of put like that, or you can do like right here, okay? Or you can even go like this if you wanted to. And to me, using the white charcoal pen instead of like absolute, like a white gel pen, sometimes look a little bit natural and a little bit nicer. So you have 3 different ways that you could do the charcoal pencil or put white ink, gel ink, or whatever on there to make it kind of stand out a little bit more. And this is just, it's a General's white charcoal. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and I know you can get them like at Michael's or even on Amazon. Okay. So we did 3 little skirts today. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so that you guys can see all 3. There we go. There we go. Okay. So you can see the different ways of practicing ruffles. And I mean, it's pretty much the same. Ruffles are ruffles, but sometimes it's really hard to see where they go. So I'm going to look for that other image, and we're going to practice ruffles again next week. Okay. And we're going to practice more of putting the patterns on the ruffles. Okay. So I will see you guys later. I hope you have an excellent week, and I will see you guys, I believe Saturday is the color and chat. So I will see you guys then. Bye.